Hi, guys. Welcome back to Libation and Vibration, where we talk all things insight into women and empowering each other as best as possible. Today, I have Jordyn B, the online fitness coach and baddie herself. Jordyn, go ahead and introduce yourself.
So, like Kay said, I am Jordyn B. I am an online fitness coach, owner of Create Her, and I'm all things faith, fitness, and lifestyle. And I'm super excited to be here.
Yes, we're going to get into it today. All right. So, Jordyn, let's talk about what got you started in the fitness world in the first place.
Woo! Okay, so my story is long. It all started really with track. So I started running track at the age of 6, and I feel like that's really where my discipline developed through sports. And so I always tell this story. Actually, my first practice, I ran up to the bleachers crying. I said, I didn't know what I was signing up for. And so I didn't want to do it, but my parents were like, come on, get back out there. And then later on, I realized that moment was really where my discipline developed. And I was able to use that discipline within my schooling, within jobs, anything in life. So, um, just doing sports my whole life. And then I went to UNC Charlotte, got into exercise science and strength training. And then, well, this is like the short version, but I went on to run track at UNC Charlotte. And so afterwards, I was like, I don't know what to do. And that's when I started my fitness page. Um, More so as a form of accountability. But then afterwards, it obviously became much more. People were like, I want to see this workout. Can you post a workout on this? So I just started posting and just had to break through that um, being comfortable being an athlete and then merging over to becoming a coach. So,
Yes. So, if you guys don't know, me and Jordan are very one and the same. uh, we were both track athletes, and me and her are also very much great friends. We have our own weekly check ins with each other, um, and following the same path with Christ and in our faith, but also being that support system for women. So, we're going to cheers to that while we drink our bean. Yep. Cheers to that while we drink our bean. Okay. So, Jordan, what I know that you went from being a college well, high school, middle school, college. What gave you the courage to be a trainer?
Um, Honestly, I think I kept hearing people say, "You need to be a coach. Can you coach me? Can you be a trainer?" I heard it so much to the point where I was like, I realized later on as I built this relationship with God that God can speak to you through others. And
Mm-hmm.
I was constantly ignoring that because I was just so comfortable being an athlete. Like that's all I knew. Like, oh, I'm an athlete. I don't know. Like people think, you know, once the roles reverse, it's different.
Yeah.
So it's not a simple transition to knowing how to do movements and then teaching someone how to do the movements and
Right.
develop discipline and stay consistent and all the other things that come with being a coach. And so I think just praying about it and getting connected with other coaches as well. So then I became Nala, also Fituation on Instagram. If you haven't heard of her, I was her assistant online coach. And so that's kind of what started up. I was like, okay, I kind of got my foot in the water, dipping in, and then continue to develop my brand and my platform. And so once I reached 10K, they were like, "You ready to launch your business?" And I'm like, "Let's do it." So I just went for it, just took that leap of faith, and it was definitely something that I was called to do for sure.
I think you're absolutely right. God does talk to you through different people. And it's like, especially when you hear the same thing over and over again, like, you
Over
should
and
do this, you
over.
should do that. And it's like, who
Look,
said?
I think I need to step on stage next because I keep hearing that too. But I'm not quite ready, so we go see about it. I gotta go pray about
You
it.
do. You do. We already spoke about this. You need to step on stage. You gotta do it for me too, because I can't do it right now, but you gotta do it. One of us gotta be on that stage. Okay. Now, what did your journey look like sticking to the plan? Like, how did you say, all right, this is what I'm gonna do, even under Nala's hand, like this is what I wanna do and this is how I'm gonna do it. How did you stick to your plan?
Really, I just found out I found my passion for
Mm,
it. I was in a corporate job in accounting. Don't know how I ended up in accounting. But every lunch break I spent editing content and programming. And so that's when I realized like if I'm using every little time outside of my 9 to 5 job
mhm.
doing what I enjoy and love, like this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yep.
And so that's really it was something that just I'm like I'm started and I'm not gonna stop. Like the vision's there. Now I gotta see it through.
Yeah.
So that's kind of and then again that discipline. Just I developed that discipline at a young age. Not saying I didn't want to quit couple times later. Like, I'm sure I wanted to quit in middle school, high school, college at some point, but just discipline is doing the things you hate to do like you love them. So just
Hmm.
I just stuck to it. And I'm still remaining disciplined. I'm a little under a year with launching my business. I'm a new entrepreneur, so it's a process. I'm learning, I'm growing, meeting people like you. So, I'm enjoying. I've always enjoyed the journey of things. And I think that's something like a lot of people need to learn is to focus less on the destination and more on the journey and getting there. So,
That is a fact. It's like you gotta learn and you gotta love that journey so you can love
yeah.
what that destination actually is instead of being like,
Right.
"Damn, I did all this work and I don't think
Right.
I
It's
really
like
want
you're
to do
going to
it."
get there. Just
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy. I wrote this poem actually. And it just talks about like you're so focused on where you're headed that
Mm-hmm.
like God is like, let me take the driver's seat and you just sit back and relax. Like, look out the window, look at this beautiful view right in front of you, but you're so focused on, are we there yet? Are we there yet?
All
When
right.
like there's beauty right here, right now. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is a fact. What does your self-love journey look like? What is like something that not a lot of people know that you internalize but then put out good into the world?
I think for me, just my physique, like being so muscular. I've kind of always been muscular, but that's actually, and some people are like, how can you not like your body? And of course, I've embraced it now, but when I was younger, I hated having muscles. I
Mm-hmm.
hated having my arms out. Unless I was at track practice with everyone else who just looked like me,
Mm-hmm.
that's where I felt most comfortable. But just going to school and guys being like, oh, she looks like a man just because I had muscles
Yeah.
and just like never wanting to show my arms. And my mom's like, your arms are beautiful, girl. Like, and they are. So I just kind of had to, um, you know, embrace that and be like, okay, muscles are beautiful. Like, just because their muscles are on a woman's body doesn't make it masculine. Like,
Right.
it's feminine to be muscular because it's
It
on a
is.
woman's body.
It is. It is. It's like funny because obviously we talk a lot, but like there are certain things that you're saying, and I'm like, yo, we really are one and the same because like I heard, oh, you have man shoulders, and it's like, and at an early age, especially middle school, it's like, how does that mean? Like, what does that
Right,
mean? And it's like
right,
you get teased for looking different, but you
right,
also get teased when other people, even at an early age, are insecure about their own body because it's
right,
something that they want or something that
right.
they aspire to be. So it's like it puts other people down. It puts when you're hearing them and it's feeling like an attack on yourself. It puts you down.
Yep.
But sometimes you got to reframe that thinking and saying, "Oh, you just giving me a compliment because I now know what you want."
Right.
And
But
if
at
not,
a young age, it's like we
you
might
don't
not have known that. We're just,
exactly
we're like, now we're feeling insecure when that's
right.
something we take pride in. And then you get
Right.
older and you realize they probably just mad they don't look like that.
Listen, I ran into one of the people, like this is a long time ago. I ran into one of the people that would call me man shoulders. Like that was his name for me all the time in middle school. And I ran into him in the city, and I was just like, "Oh, hey, how are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm great. You look great." It's like, "Thank you." He's like, "I know what you're about to say." I was like, "I'm not about to say anything. Like, I'm just, I heard you had a baby. Like, you got a lot of things." He was like, "Yeah, Caleb, but I teased you for having man
Mm,
shoulders because you were more fit than I was."
mm,
And you were able to do all the sports and you were able to do all these things, but like I wasn't. And so I
right,
teased you on it. And for a grown man, I think at that age I was 25. For a grown man, he just had a child to come to his realization and call out his own insecurities, but also apologize for those things.
right.
It was like, wow. But it
Yeah,
also it's a reminder that like even when as you're growing up, it's okay that you made these mistakes in the past
right,
because now you're learning from them, and it just makes you a
right,
better person as time goes on. So we have to embrace the things that God gives to us early and later. It might not
right,
seem like, oh, I think it's the whole fit in part. Like you want to fit in, you want to be like everybody else, so you don't get called out for these things. But God creates us differently for that exact reason.
right. Exactly. I like that. That's good.
See, I this is just a regular phone call for us. This is a regular
No, really.
phone call. Jordan, what did you have to sacrifice to get to where you are right now? I know that you said that you had to
Mm.
give up, your corporate job of accounting, but like, what else did you have to sacrifice to get to where you are?
Um, Honestly, this whole journey to becoming a coach and having a platform, I've just had to sacrifice time. Like, I don't really go out a lot. I mean, I'm an introvert, so that was never really an issue,
Problem.
but it was never an issue. But time, you have to sacrifice time and putting in work.
Yeah.
And also, like, I recently moved home. And so, I mean, I feel like people would call this a sacrifice, but I'm loving it, honestly. So, but I recently moved home just so that I could focus on my business without that financial stress. I was living in Charlotte. Charlotte is not cheap. So I'm like, I'm blessed enough to be able to move back home. Why would I not take that opportunity so that I can just focus on my business
Right.
and focus on reaching other women and helping them create the life they want to live? That's really what Create Her is all about. It's creating her. Like, what does her look like, and what do you need to do to get there? So,
Hmm. I think it's like as coaches, we have to remember that we have to practice what we preach.
right. I'm creating her. Like, I'm still learning, developing, growing, building my relationship with God and figuring out what his will is and what he wants me to do next. So,
Right.
um I can't do that with if I can't tell others to do it unless I do it myself. So,
Exactly.
right.
Exactly. Yeah. I think like it's not only is it part of our job, excuse me, not only is it part of our job, but it's part of who we are because we're so authentic and we're
Right.
so genuine with what we do. And it's not like, I know for me and I know for you, it's not about the money for us. It's literally about
Right.
helping as many people or impacting as many people as we can because
Right.
this is our purpose. This is our passion. So
Right.
it's like, I can't tell you to do this if I can't do it myself.
Right.
Like what I used to hear all the time when I trained in person was like, you make this look so easy. And it's like, but you wouldn't trust me if I didn't. And why would I make you do something that I can't do and
Right.
expect you to succeed? That doesn't make sense. I'm going to
Right.
show you how to do it correctly. I'm going to guide you on how to do it correctly. But you would not trust me if I couldn't do it with you.
Right. And
Yeah.
then also just actually I watched this sermon years ago, couple 2, 3 years ago. And that's when I really realized what purpose was. I think people tie purpose to a job title all the time,
Mhm.
like what they're supposed to do. But he talked about how purpose is who you are. And
Right.
so we're not human doings, we're human beings. So it's about who are you when you step into the room?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when I realized like my purpose is to use the gifts that God gave me to serve other people. And
Yes.
so that kind of just goes hand in hand with what you just said.
Yes. 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 Ugh. See, this is why I love our friendship because we can be very
Me
honest.
too.
And we are like very honest people, but we also like know what it takes to
Hmm.
get to not even just it's not even just about fitness. You know what it takes to just be a good person and or be
Hmm.
there for others and be that support system for others because at the end of the day it's gonna come back your way every
Right.
time. So you might as well do right by people. And I think
Right.
that's like when we first had our first conversation, we was on the phone for 2 hours.
We're on the phone for a minute. Just like talking, like we was
Yeah,
friends
like we've
forever.
known
Like
each other
we
for
knew
years.
each other for real.
But it's funny because when we hopped off the phone, I remember telling my boyfriend, like, I'm so glad that you reached out because I was like, I was just about to reach out to you, and like, and it's like I heard God saying, like, you need to talk to her. You need to talk to her because she has insight that you don't have, and you have insight that she doesn't have, and y'all need to come
Right.
together right now as people.
And
And
something
like,
had told me to hit you up like a while back, but I didn't. And then I just was like, yep, I gotta hit her up.
we
So
gotta
I'm glad
figure
I
this
did.
out. Oh man. All right, Jordan, let's talk about what are your favorite things about being a trainer? Like, I can tell you what my favorite things are, but this is about you. What are your
Oh,
favorite things about being a trainer?
honestly, seeing my clients um like grow and
Mm,
develop and see their progress, like when I put those side by side pictures and
mhm.
they're like, wow, like,
Wow.
and I'm like, yeah, because you look at yourself in the mirror every day, and so to you you're like, but then when
Hmm.
they start saying, yeah, my family's noticing and I'm getting compliments, or like just simple stuff, my endurance is improving,
Yeah.
I can walk better, I can move better, I feel more energetic, I'm sleeping
Hmm.
better, like all of those little things, and just teaching them to enjoy the process. Like when I hear someone say, like, I love going to the gym, like I'm falling in love with the gym. I'm like, you a gym girl now. So
Hmm.
honestly, that's like my favorite thing is just that. And honestly, I talk to my clients about things outside of fitness. Like
Right.
we talk about faith, we talk about, I know about different things that they have going on in their life. And so just being able to be there and encourage them and let them know, like, God got you. He
Hmm.
has a plan for you. And just because you're going through this obstacle right now doesn't mean there's not purpose on the other side of it. So that's honestly my favorite thing.
I think that's any good trainer's favorite thing is that aspect of seeing that actual transformation for them, even if they don't see it themselves.
Right. And
I
not
think,
just the physical
yeah, it's
transformation,
the mental one.
that mental.
Yeah, I think that like the physical transformation is like, all right, yeah, that's happening, but like the mental transformation of going from, I can't do this, to oh my god, I did this, and oh my god, I feel
Right.
great, and like
Right.
I
I want to keep
accomplished
going.
something. Yeah, exactly. Like I accomplished this. It's letting them get over that mental hurdle, and when you
Right.
watch them go over that mental hurdle and like land on their feet, and they look back at you for confirmation, it's like, girl, you did that on your own.
Right. And a
So
lot of it is mental. Like
yeah.
it all starts with your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's about like reframing your core beliefs. That's
Right.
something I'm working on this year, is like I have to really believe the things I say or it's not
Mhm.
gonna happen. And when
Yes.
you believe it, you're gonna make it happen. So it's like getting them to believe, like, oh, I can actually do this. Oh, I'm starting to see results. Okay, I want to keep doing this. Now it's a lifestyle. Like that's the goal. Like, is as a coach, you want your clients to not need you forever. I'm here to give you the tools and the skills and help you develop this discipline that's gonna last a lifetime, so that
Right.
a year from now you're like, okay, I can go to the gym and get my workout in and maintain these results that I have and live a great life.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. It's not. It's not about the quick fix. It's about like literally serving yourself so you can serve the higher power. Like if you are not okay, I say this a lot to my moms, it's like if you aren't okay, your kids aren't going to be okay.
Right.
And because they look at you for confirmation, they look at you for an example, and as idols. So you have to set that tone from them early. I
Right.
hear the, oh, I can't work out, I got the kids. Let those kids join you while you work out. I
Right.
promise you, you might get annoyed for a second, but you'll actually be impressed by how much they watch you.
Right. And now it's like that you can make that a moment that you get to spend with your
And with their
kids.
kids. Yep. Yep.
And
I
now they're gonna want to be active when they get older because
Yep.
mommy was active, so
And
I
it's
want
a
to be active
healthy
too.
routine. It is something that they know that is good for them. If they sit there and they ask you questions, why are you doing? Don't get annoyed. Answer their question. I'm doing this because so and so. I'm doing this because I want to be around and run after you and help you with
Right.
soccer, help you with basketball. Like I want to be in great shape for you as you get older.
Right.
Because then they're gonna think that, okay, if mommy's doing this for me now, what do I need to do for her now? And then so you'll have those kids that go, okay, you working out? Okay, mommy, I'll go in my room. Oh, you doing this? Okay, can I just sit here and watch? Like I've literally been on the phone with clients and like son will come downstairs and he'll just start lifting weights. Like he'll just start lifting the 5 pounds. And
I
at first,
love those little videos of the little kids lifting. I'm like,
yes,
that's gonna be my kid.
literally. I have a video from when I first started training, and my client, we're about to actually mark 5 years, and her daughter has been coming with her from the
Mhm.
very start. And I have a video of her, like tiny as ever, down to my freaking knees. And this little girl is doing what? She's taking care of herself. She's never gotten sick. She's riding horses. She's doing gymnastics. She's doing Ninja Warrior because she saw her mother do what?
Right. Be active, work out,
Exactly.
move her body.
So it's like, for the moms out there, don't ever think that your kids are not watching you. Don't ever think that your kids don't idolize you. They might not tell you, especially if they're a little hard headed. They might not tell you. But the routines that you have for yourself is the same routines that they're going to have for themselves. That goes for
Mhm.
eating too. If you eat like crap, they're going to think it's okay to eat like crap.
Right.
So be who you really want your kids to be. That's like key. If I never watched my mother work out, if I never watched my dad work out, I probably would not be the person I am right now.
Right.
So,
Again, going back to that discipline.
yeah,
They could let me quit, but I wouldn't have become a 4-time state champion.
ex-
I wouldn't have went on to become a Division 1 athlete,
right,
and I probably wouldn't have gotten a degree in exercise science, and I wouldn't have
exactly.
become a coach. Like that one moment, that one
Sets you
moment
up.
could have
It
changed
sets
my
you
life.
up. Absolutely. Those one moments are those steps for you to take. So it's
Right.
like you have to be willing. You have to be open for that. And it's no walk in the park. It's not meant to be a
And
walk in the park. Oh boy,
right,
it's not meant to be a
because
walk in the park.
if it could, everybody would. Right.
Exactly. And that's a fact. So it's like be willing to step on that step, take a step back and reevaluate that step and say, okay, this is how I get there.
Hmm.
But like I like you don't have to idolize everybody else. Idolize yourself. You know me. I always say what? Romanticize your own life.
Hmm.
Romanticize your own life because you're bound to inspire somebody else.
Right.
And for the most
Because
part, it's gonna be your kids.
people are watching. People are watching. And I
Yeah,
think often people are so I think this is the downside of social media. It's like people are watching each other's lives and they don't get to see really what it took for someone to get
get
there. And they're
there.
like, I want that. But I'm like, sometimes what you're praying for, you didn't see what it took to get there. So do you really want that?
Hmm.
Like you see this person, and you're like, oh, they got this and this and this. I want that too, but you don't know what they sacrificed to get there.
Sacrifices.
So do
Mhm.
you really want to go through that journey? Is that really what you're praying for? So you
Right.
got to be careful what you ask for.
Right. He gonna give it to you. He gonna give it to
Okay.
you whether you like
One
it
way
or
or another.
not.
And then I don't want to hear no complaining like, oh my goodness, I'm like overwhelmed, I'm stressed.
Yep. I
You
can't
ask for it
balance.
because it's on the other side of that
Mm-hmm.
obstacle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. As they come. What I know you just talked about social media and how it can play on the part of how people view other people's lives. But what is the most discouraging thing about our field? Like, what do you think it is? What is it for you, more like it? The most discouraging thing about our field?
um, if I'm being quite honest, I think
Honesty. Honesty.
honesty. Hold on, let me take a sip. I think for me, um, I think the biggest thing is like being a black woman in the fitness industry and then just a darker skinned woman. I do feel like um there's not a lot of us out there. Like where we at?
Mm-mm.
So I mean
Looking.
there's that, but I've just also learned to be okay with where I'm at. I'm staying in my lane,
Mm-hmm.
running my race. And then, God is gonna use me in whichever season I'm in. So whether I'm here and I'm serving this many people or here serving this many, like, it's all a part of the journey. So just learning to be okay with where you're at because this is where I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, I
I don't
agree.
want to be where someone else is and not be the version of myself that God like wants. Okay. I was watching this sermon actually. I want to read my notes. Let me go find it.
And this is why I
Little
love
pages.
Jordan. This is why I love Jordan because we can talk about anything, and she or I will be like, "Oh, this is what I wrote down today," and I'm pretty sure you need to hear
Look, this
it.
um it was he talked about God is making it for you, but he didn't make it for this version of you.
mm.
Let that sit. And so he
Mm.
also asked this question, am I growing into who God called me to be for tomorrow? Because God might have this promise for you tomorrow, but are you the version that he wanted you to be for tomorrow's promise?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
So
That's
you
like,
got to be ready, y'all. You got to be
yeah.
ready. You have to do what God said do.
Yeah. Well, that's like the post that I put up the other day was just like God has already prepared the path. He's just preparing you for it.
Right.
And it's like you have to be you can't be closed off. And you can't say that your guidance wasn't there because it was. But sometimes people forget like the thoughts that we have. Not all the intrusive thoughts are intrusive. They're actually God talking to you and telling you what you need to do. Like I know that
Hmm.
sometimes when I'm thinking in my head and I'm going, damn, I know I was supposed to do this. That's God saying, you asked me to do something for you. You asked me and you prayed for this one thing.
Right.
I'm talking to you right now to remind you that this is that one thing you need to do to get to that next thing.
Right.
So it's like you have to be willing to listen. I think that's the hardest part for people. Since you have to be willing to listen, even
And
when
learning
silence is loud.
exactly. And also learning like when you hear God's voice. Because
Mm-hmm.
it could be you, it could be your flesh, it could be the world, but you gotta know when you're really hearing from God. And so
Yes.
I'm like that's my focus. Another focus in this season is just like I can't be deceived no more.
Yeah.
The devil is a lie.
A liar.
Okay. So if it ain't God's will, it's not for me.
Me. That is a fact. That is a fact. Um, so I know you're big on affirmations like I am. What are some affirmations that you tell yourself?
Mm. That's so
Mm.
crazy. I had in my old apartment, I had all these affirmations on my sticky notes on my mirror, but I took them down because I moved. So I'm trying to think of what I forgot which one. You go first
Um,
while
lately
I
I
think.
lately I've been going with you are who you are meant to be.
That's good.
Meaning like even though you are changing with these seasons and you're changing with these things that are coming in a sense to attack you,
Hmm.
you are still who you are meant to be, regardless of what's going on, regardless of what is trying to stop you. You still have to be willing to put in that time, put in that effort, put in those prayers, put in that love on
Right,
who you intended yourself to be.
right. That's good. I like that. Actually, there's you just reminded me of one I always tell myself. Um, and it's just like you're chosen. I'm chosen. I'm daughter of a king.
Mm-hmm.
I am a child of God.
Mm-hmm.
And I have an inheritance to receive. So just constantly reminding myself who I am. Like when the enemy is trying to attack you and make you feel like you're less
Yes,
than or that
then.
you're not enough or that you're not worth it. Be like, I am a child of God. Like God don't play about me. So, that's just the biggest thing, remembering who you are at the core.
Yes. And that goes back to your core values. Because
Right.
you have to remember what you stood on to get there. Not just the business, but what else you stood on to
Right.
get there.
Right.
I love this conversation, Sarah.
Me too. This is good.
This was good.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right, Jada, I'm going to ask you two more questions and then I'm
All
going to
right.
let you go because I know Jax is probably looking at you like, Mom, let me out.
I hope
Um,
not. He must be asleep.
where do you see yourself in 5 years, God willing?
Ooh.
And I know
God.
before you answer that, I know that He creates the path and that sometimes
Right.
we can come up with a plan, but it ain't going to be His plan. But
Right. That's why
where,
God
that's why I said
will.
God willing.
um in 5 years, I see myself just being a successful online fitness coach. Um, I definitely see myself married, starting a
What?
family. God's will. God's
Uh-huh.
um and just traveling, just enjoying life. Honestly, I just doing my goal is just to do everything God called me to do.
What does success
Helping
look like for you? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
mm,
interrupt you. What does success look like for you? I heard you say a successful online fitness coach,
I
but what does it look like for you?
I will honestly say I'm successful now
I was
because
about to say.
like yeah, but continued success. Just I think success for me is just doing submitting to God
Mm-hmm.
and doing His will, not my will, His will.
Okay.
What they say, your will be done, not you, but
Mm-hmm.
Him.
Yes.
So that I mean, I would say success is already here, but
You
just
walking on success, Jordan. Seriously.
continue to expand that and to inspire more people, to draw more people closer to God, to educate,
Mm-hmm.
to inspire, to encourage. And the biggest thing is just people, social media, we're content creators. I just want to continue to show my life and show others what the love of God can do in their life. So
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's yeah.
Yes. I was actually looking at this post today, and the girl's quote over her video said, "Be the friend that you want to be instead of being the biblical quote that you never stood on."
Mm.
And like immediately when I saw that, I thought about you. It's just like we speak about him because that's what we're intended to do and that's what we believe. But also,
Be about it.
yes, like
Like be it.
exactly. And that's what our friendship is on. And that's why I love our friendship is because we're actually about it. You know,
Mhm.
you more than you've known have helped me through my dark times. And
You
so,
too. You be checking me like, "Come on,
yeah,
Jordan.
exactly.
You said you was gonna do it." Tay don't be playing with me. She be
The-
like she be like, "Come on."
but that's what friendship looks like. And that's
Mhm.
what friendship looks like when
You
God
need
puts
that
you together.
community.
Yeah. So it's like,
I recently started joining this Bible study, and because that was one of my biggest goals this year is just to start being a part of a community of other
mhm,
believers. And I mean, just being able to lean on each other and talk about your walk and be vulnerable,
yeah,
because we're not perfect,
we're
but
not. And having
perfection is not a prerequisite to be loved by God.
exactly, exactly. And that's what you taught me. That's what you taught me. Because it was just like I was in a moment of like, I know he loves me and I completely believe in him, but like, I am not this statue of perfection. I am a sinner and it's not purposely, but it's like, you know, we all sin in our ways. So it's like when you said those exact words to me, and you didn't even. And this goes back to our 2 hour conversation. Our first initial talk was just like, this girl doesn't know me from a hole in the wall, and to hear that
You
was a
all the way in
reminder,
New York.
right? So it's like,
I'm in North Carolina. Like,
but to hear that was exactly what I needed. But that's why I love you as a coach because you are going to tend to people's needs whether you realize it or not. I give you all praise
and
because
I think sometimes I need that reminder.
yeah.
I have moments where I'm like, yeah, this is why I do what I do. But then I
Hmm.
have moments like, God, is this what I'm supposed
I'm
to be
supposed to be
doing?
doing
Yeah. And
nah,
then you get those moments like, okay, yeah,
that
I'm here
little
for a reason.
reminder. Yeah, that little reminder. That reminder to let you know that you were put on this earth to do this thing, and it's
Right.
gonna change.
And
And that's
many more.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's,
look,
I told
we
you,
where have you been?
right? Oh my god.
No, bro.
It's if our viewers today take away anything from our conversation is that God puts you right where you're supposed to be.
Exactly
He puts you
where
in
you're supposed to be.
places that you need to be in. He introduces you into people that you need to meet, not because he's trying to take you away from what you think is the glory and the greatness, is to put you where you're intended to be.
Hmm. He has a plan for you to
Every single
prosper,
time.
not to
Yes,
harm you, to give you hope
yes,
and a future.
yes,
So
yes.
God's plan, not yours.
Hmm. Friend, I appreciate you. I appreciate
I
you hopping
appreciate
on this
you.
call. I appreciate you, and I want everybody to know Jordan
Honestly,
was nervous. She was
I was
nervous to hop on this call.
I was gonna say thank you for almost dragging me here because I always say like I'm ready to use my voice,
Exactly.
and I feel like people need to hear what we have to say, but
Hmm.
then be mute. So
No, that's why
honestly, like,
when
yeah,
you said that you feel like you needed to use your voice more, what you said at the end of last year when we were on the phone, I need to use my voice more. And I said that I was going to drop my podcast. And I was like, nah, there's no way I'm not going to put my friend on this damn podcast, but it's no way I'm not going to push you, because that's what he was telling me. He was like, you need to let go of this. We're both introverts. Well, I'm like introvert now as I've gotten older, but like the introverts are because we know what we're capable of. And sometimes some people aren't willing to hear our words or willing to hear the vision that we
Mhm.
have for them. So we keep it to ourselves. And I told
Mhm.
myself that this year I'm no longer doing that, and I'm no longer letting you do that. So
Mhm.
that's why I dragged you by your feet
I'm
and told
glad
you
you
that you
did.
had to hop on this podcast,
Happy
because
to
you
be
deserve
here.
it. You deserve to be heard. And your story, I was listening to something today, and it was just like, people don't care about your story, right? But they care about whether it can relate to them.
Mhm.
And your story can relate to multiple people. Because, like I said, me and you are one and the same. So imagine how many
Mhm.
other women that are listening to this and saying, damn, if they can do it, so can I.
Right.
If they can give their, themselves to God and listen to what his path is, what he has in their path, so can I.
Right.
So I know everybody's like, some people are going to listen to this and they're going to be like, damn, this is all about God. Yes, it is. You were
He comes
talking to
first.
two, yes, you were talking to two women who are big on their faith, but big on their faith because we know where it can get us and where it's
Right.
taken us and where it's leading us still.
Right.
So, Brian, I appreciate you more than you know,
I
and I love
appreciate
you
you.
like my little sister, my sister all the way down south.
I know I don't have any blood sisters, so you
But
know.
he did that on purpose. He knew your mother and your dad couldn't handle that, so he was like, "I'm gonna give you friends. I'm gonna give you friends."
Sister in Christ. Look.
Exactly. um, this has been a lovely conversation, Jordan. Thank you for joining this podcast today and
Of
giving us
course.
so much insight and so much wisdom and so much love and so many prayers. Um, till the next time, thank you for watching Libation and Vibration. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, whatever you feel like does you best. But we're out of here. Cheers, Jordan.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye, guys.
Thanks.